Van Hollen posted a picture of him sitting with Abrego Garcia at a table.
I see these pictures tonight, and I think, boy, the party of women is really covering itself in glory tonight. I mean, I don't understand why the American left falls in love with the worst people. You've got a gang-banging, human trafficking, wife-beating, illegal alien, and a United States senator in a ludicrous display of energy is in El Salvador having Mai Tais and Yahtzee. I do not get it. I do not understand why the left takes on the heroes. People like that. I don't get it.
I think
he has an adjudicated deportation order, and you have Democrat public officials falling all over themselves trying to get him back here without thinking through the next step, which is he's literally going to be deported somewhere else.
But he did have due process. Everything we know about him is documented because he did go through the court systems. He was stopped for trafficking. His wife did file these domestic violence charges against him. He was arrested with MS-13 members with a roll of cash that had the eyes and the ears and the mouths of the presidents erased, which is an MS-13 markings. This is all non-disputed.
Average American looking at this case, a lot of conflicting information. Okay, I believe some, I don't believe. An illegal alien came here in 2011, and somehow in 2025, he's still here after having been through the court system, after having been arrested with lots of people in his car, after having all this evidence.
Why didn't Donald Trump deport him?
He just did, and now everybody's mad about it.
Why didn't
How
Donald
did an
Trump
illegal
deport
alien
him?
take advantage of our system for 14
Why
years
didn't
and
Donald
not
Trump
get
deport
away?
him?
Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's your man Wise. I appreciate you guys pulling up. As always, man, we got to check out Scott Jennings. Ooh, this is going to get a little testy. I don't understand why this right here isn't cultural appropriation, as you sit here and see Jemele Hill with her blonde hair and face full of makeup. But we got to get into it. Gets a little testy. Scott Jennings doing what Scott Jennings does. You can't refute anything that he said, and that's why they sit there. They roll their eyes, they suck their teeth, but you can't refute anything that he said. It's obvious. This Abrego Garcia guy did have due process. That's why they know what they know about him. He was supposed to be deported back in 2019. It didn't happen. It's 2025 now. What? Almost 6 years later, and they got his behind up out of here. I don't understand why this is the hill that these daggone Democrats want to die on. Like, share, subscribe. Let's keep it going.
Well, I totally disagree with the characterization of it. I think Trump supporters and the people who put him in office would say that he's not turning the government into a weapon. He's turning it into a shield. He's shielding the American people from illegal immigration. He's shielding the American people from having their tax dollars used for ridiculous purposes. All of these things that you mentioned, you may call them weaponization, but a lot of people would say we need a shield against a lot of these bad actors and bad institutions.
You didn't address any of the things that I actually did bring up. I mean, he's saying to American universities, you need to admit a certain number of conservatives.
I'll address the universities.
Or you will lose your tax-exempt status. He is saying that he signed an executive order in the White House saying, investigate 2 individuals who told the truth about the last election and criticized me publicly. That is weaponization.
Regarding the universities, first of all, he's creating, I think, a shield for the Jewish students on campus who have been the victim of horrible anti-Semitism. And he's saying to these universities, you cannot simply screen out all viewpoints that don't adhere to your anti-Western civilization worldview.
Absolutely no one is doing that.
Absolutely they are.
That is exactly what's happening on these college campuses. You can't hardly be a Christian nor a conservative on these college campuses. The professors will come for you. The radicalized students will come for you. It's a mess. There is not a balance on these daggone college campuses. You guys know this.
No, they're not.
What
evidence do you have that they're screening?
I've been on a college campus recently, and I can certainly use my eyes and ears. These are hotbeds of anti-American and anti-Western civilization activity, and everybody knows it.
What?
And there's no dissent on these campuses.
Oh, so wait, now MAGA wants DEI.
Everyone's afraid.
Now they want to be included. Like, now they want affirmative action for them. Like, that's cool.
So you
now.
admit that you want universities to exclude everyone but the radical
because
left.
there's no proof that they're actually being excluded.
There's
Because if that, no, there isn't.
96% of contributions from Harvard faculty went to Democrats. What else you got?
Okay, so you talking about contribution. I'm talking about
what people's political viewpoints are.
Who is teaching people? So if they were
Yes,
such
I know.
a weapon,
I used to teach there. Believe me.
Okay, so clearly you used to teach there, right?
Yeah, I was treated like an exotic zoo animal. Trust me.
Oh, I'm sure.
The faculty is not conservative. Believe me.
Oh, okay. So at Harvard, I just imagine all of these conservative politicians that go there. They go there because they don't feel welcome. They just go there to go there.
If you're trying to come on here tonight and argue that Harvard is a hotbed of conservatism,
I'm not.
Lord
I'm
have
just
mercy.
saying that they're not. So are we going to do the same thing at Baylor? Are we going to do the same thing at Liberty? Are we going to invite more liberal thought to those universities?
I think if public universities or any university taking public funds is violating the civil rights of Jewish students or actively screening out conservatives and conservative viewpoints, we need to have a conversation.
Or what about discriminating against people of color? Can we like keep the, because I agree that Jewish students should be safe. I agree with that. I think that I become a better debater and a smarter person when I actually get to have discourse with people like you that I don't mostly agree with on the political views. But I also get a seat at the table, and I don't get to be discriminated against, and black people and brown people and queer people also don't. So if we're going to protect one class, can we agree to protect all classes?
What university is doing that? I agree, but what university is doing that?
I just want to know what is it?
What class of people right now on American campuses is facing the kind of pushback that Jewish students are anywhere?
We do know since the affirmative action decision that came down about 18 months ago that the number of people of color who have been admitted to institutions have decreased because that's a policy that actually ensures.
Do you include Asian students in that people of color?
Yeah, their numbers are down too.
Let me just, one of the reasons that I think this has become the topic du jour this week is because I think we've seen a lot of people who are normally pretty level-headed about this stuff raising the alarm. Let me play what Senator Lisa Murkowski, a Republican, said this week about her fear of what's going on now and of retaliation.
We are all afraid. Okay? It's quite a statement. I'm oftentimes very anxious myself about using my voice because retaliation is real, and that's not right.
You know, you kind of have to let it play out because you can hear it in her voice, what she's talking about. Here's Karl Rove as well. He says there's way too much retribution. He's talking about the Trump tenure thus far. Most of the president's revenge attempts will end badly for him. Republicans could rue the day that they set a new justification for retaliation from Democrats.
I look at who Trump has, targeted, right? Who he's taken on in the last 2 months. I see Wall Street. I see Harvard, the most elite institution in America. I see gangbangers. And I see a man who may or may not be part of MS-13, but whose wife has accused him multiple times of beating her up, including while she was holding her child. And I see those people as the enemies of Trump that he has successfully attacked. We just had the Passover Seder, and there's a song in Passover called Dayenu, which means it would have been enough. And that's kind of how I feel about this list. Like, it would have been enough if Trump had only taken on Wall Street. It would have been enough if he had only taken on the gangbangers. It would have been enough if he had only started reshoring manufacturing. If he had only gotten rid of this guy who beat his wife up, which by the way is a deportable offense. And yet he's done all of these things. And I think most Americans look at that and they say, not that he's weaponizing things, but that he is fighting our fights for us. CNN this morning had a poll. 56% of Americans want every single illegal alien deported. 11 million illegal aliens deported, 56%. It's up from 38% in 2016. Trump is winning this, and he's winning it because people feel like he is fighting for them. The real emergency is that the American people are getting what they want. I think you're making an interesting
point that if Trump had focused...
She is absolutely right. You can't refute anything that Batya said. She is absolutely correct. And the thing is that the American people are speaking. See, legacy media wants you to believe if they can sell a narrative that, the Americans, we're not for this. But you can't refute. And the reality of it is that the CNN poll said 56%. The Fox poll said it was upwards of almost 70%. So the American people want this to happen. And Batya is absolutely right. Government historically has chosen Wall Street over the American people. They chose gains for these large corporations over bringing jobs back and giving the American people the ability to earn an honest wage. They've chosen, in the Democrat Party, they've chosen illegal immigrants over United States citizens. There's a track record here. And you have a lot of people upset behind it But the American people, working, middle-class Americans, we're standing up and we're standing behind what President Trump is doing in this nation.
On just those things, maybe everybody would have said it was enough. But actually, he's doing a lot of other things too.
You think the American people care about Harvard?
Yes.
They care.
Oh, yes.
But
They
why?
hate Harvard.
Yeah, they
Why?
hate it because they hate. It's funny because
Harvard has a
they admire
$60
wealth at the
billion
same time they hate it.
Harvard
That's
has
what's
a
hilarious about that.
$60 billion
But is this-
endowment,
but
and
this is not
they're
about-
threatening to kill animals
But Batya,
because we won't give them $2
but
billion.
this is not about Harvard.
It really isn't.
Obviously.
It's
It's not
nothing
about
to do with
Harvard.
Harvard.
It's
Yeah,
I'm just
curious.
saying.
Like,
I'm just saying. Like the idea. I think the big picture here, and I think this is why there's so much alarm among some of these people that I just mentioned, is that it's not just about this one institution. It's using the one institution as a vehicle to attack the idea
Others, yes.
of higher education that is not beholden to political interests.
And it's also
That's, I
about the
think, what
National
concern
African American
is.
Museum. It's about so many other things.
I mean, it's not even about the African American Museum. We don't care what Jemele Hill has to say, really. I don't understand why these ESPN rejects are on CNN, but I digress. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now. But for whatever reason, that seems to be the case. For whatever reason, I don't really understand why that is the case, but it is. But the reality of it is that Americans are tired of these quote unquote smug elites, the people that are a part of the bourgeoisie, whether they're black, white, or whatever. Regular Americans do not care so much about these people because they definitely do not care about our plight. These are the people that are willing to sell out the nation. These are the people that are willing to sell out the country so they can, gain a little more in their portfolios. I mean, seriously.
The president of El Salvador also tweeted this that I find fascinating. He says, Abrego Garcia miraculously risen from the death camps and torture, now sipping margaritas with Senator Van Hollen in a tropical paradise of El Salvador. I mean,
That was the first thing I noticed. I was like, are they at a continental breakfast? Like, what is happening? I'm not even trying to be funny.
I know.
The
I mean,
very
it's
first thing I noticed was like, that was not what I
but I
expected.
mean, but let's be real about what's happening here. I mean, this is propaganda because the
That's
other
spin.
propaganda of the whole situation is that this is a hellhole. They were literally telling us the other day that it was a hellhole. You know who called it a gulag? The Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance. So I don't know. Whose word do you take?
I see these pictures tonight, and I think, boy, the party of women is really covering itself in glory tonight. I mean, I don't understand why the American left falls in love with the worst people. You've got a gang-banging, human trafficking, wife-beating illegal alien, and a United States senator in a ludicrous display of energy is in El Salvador having Mai Tais and Yahtzee. I do not get it. I do not understand why the left takes on the heroes people like that. I don't get it.
I think look.
Scott Jennings absolutely right. I do not understand for the life of me why this dude is continuing or chose to break bread with this guy. I really don't. I don't understand it. But then again, hey, the Democrat Party, they are the party of death and destruction. They are the party of despair. They are the party that is anti-woman. They are the party that do not know what a woman is. So I guess this shouldn't be a shock to us that he's willing to sit down and break bread with this guy, that he was willing to use taxpayer money to fly down so he could, have this, hallmark moment, with this individual who's a part of a gang, who has been deported, who's beat up his wife at least twice that we know of. What we do know is typically before a restraining order happens, it's happened a couple of times prior to that. But not one restraining order did she place. She placed two. And you got this Senator Van Hollen, senator out of Maryland, unfortunately, down there breaking bread, trying to have, some, moral, grandstand of a moment. It's freaking despicable. It really is. It is despicable. Oh my goodness, man. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section though. Like, share, subscribe, turn the notifications on so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family, or you can buy your man a coffee. Link down in the description box below if you'd like to support the channel financially. Come join us Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And come hang out with us in one of the livest chats, one of the dopest, live streams out there. Hey, happy Resurrection Sunday to you guys. Enjoy the weekend. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
Vibes so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp.